Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. And today we have a treat. We're gonna meet Mindy, a new friend of mine, and learn all about her and her life in a Kia Soul. And Mindy, life in a Kia Soul, how is that working for you?
It's working great. If I ever wanted to go to something bigger, I think it would only be a minivan. I like the smaller spaces.
So it was a choice to be in a little tiny car.
It was. I'm still making payments on it, so it was just using what I had. And actually, I got that from you, from watching you. I had watched a video you interviewed. She had a Kia Soul, and I was like, I can do it.
Right.
She's doing it.
Right. I think that's why these interviews are so popular and useful. Is people see it just like you,
Yeah.
and they're doing it, and so can you. Well, I guess that we need to come back to the question, how long have you been on the road living in your soul?
Well, I've been doing it 3.5 months for almost the full time I was stealth in the city. So I've only been out this way about a week.
Why did you end up living in a car?
Well, I've been wanting to live this life for like years now. I've been watching you probably 6 years at least, and things just kept getting in the way. I had like bigger fantasies and ideals, back when I first started, watching everybody, oh, I got to get a van. Then it was a schoolie, and I was married at the time, and he was like, I'll only do it if we have this ginormous schoolie, so it's like an apartment on wheels. And I'm like, okay. And the more I watched it, the smaller I wanted to go. Well, I'm not married anymore, and I can do what I want, so.
So this is, for a lot of people, a car is a necessity. I mean, that's just what they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, it's a choice?
Yeah, it's definitely a choice. And I chose to do it now. I started in September, and I did it because the job I had was seasonal. I had been sharing an apartment with my sister, and she was leaving to go pursue other opportunities. And so the timing worked out. And also, I wanted to try and find my son. He's actually missing in Los Angeles area. So I thought I can save up and I can drive out there and see if I can find him. And so that was part of it as well.
So is this a bit of a trial run then?
Yes, I really enjoy the stealth camping. Like, it was working. Everything was there. I used Planet Fitness to shower. Sure. It was a 40-hour, work week. So I did the gym like 3 times a week, and I was able to shower. And, it worked out. Like, I was actually even able to sleep in the same spot for the whole time. And that's like unheard of.
That is.
Like, I was already, you said to have at least like 7 spots. I had 7 spots picked out, and then I didn't need them. I just kept sleeping in the same spot, and there was other people around doing the same thing.
So yeah, it's just some cities are real tolerant towards it,
Mm-hmm.
and some cities, and it can change,
Yeah.
are really intolerant. And then that's how you find out and adjust to your particular situation.
Yeah, I actually prefer it. I'm less lazy living this way, because everything has to have a place. You have to clean everything, you got to do your laundry. I'm less, just sitting around doing like mindless things when I live this way.
So your job is seasonal. Are you going, when this run is done, are you going back to your job?
No, I'm actually gonna try and get like maybe a work camping job and keep going.
So this make this a lifestyle by choice.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a job to go back to, but you're going to try doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that works well, and you're in the right place at the right time. Right now, we're near Quartzsite, Arizona, and the Big Tent's coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's really likely you'll get a job there.
Yeah.
For me, my first night in a van, well, I was going through my divorce, so that was real emotionally traumatic anyway. How did it feel to you, your first night in a van, in your car?
Oh gosh, I didn't sleep very well because I didn't pick a good spot to sleep at. I went to my first parking spot, and I didn't realize it was close to a bar. And so I was nervous anyway. You're doing it for the first time. You don't know what's going to happen. You think there's going to be knocking at the door. Hello, you got to go. But that didn't happen. It just got a little noisy. And so I stayed there actually 2 nights before I actually eyeballed people sleeping over by the Walmart. And I was like, that same car's still there. I was like, I wonder if they're all sleeping there. So I went there, and sure enough, and I was like, okay, this is it.
So you were at a Walmart or just near to one?
Yeah, there was like a McDonald's, a Walmart, and a Winn-Dixie, but it was kind of like no man's land. Like they all had their own parking lot, but it was like a overflow-ish kind of.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Those are the best kinds. That's the best place to park.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell which customer. You might be an employee parked way out and going to any one of them.
Yeah.
So, and employees overnight is normal.
Right.
So that's just, yeah, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah. I slept pretty good. I don't know. I don't live in fear, so I kind of tend to just be more, you know, I'm always protected no matter what kind of mentality. So
it worked out really well for you. You apparently are not a very fearful person.
no.
And that's what keeps most people from it, because, you know, it's the unknown, and the unknown is fearful.
Yeah.
So that you didn't even have to overcome it. It just isn't very natural to you.
I already did. I've been through a lot in the last 3 years, and especially in this last year, just finding like the truth of what we are, and it just kind of, there's no place for fear when you're in that state.
Right. So this has been kind of a few-year journey to really rediscovering yourself.
Yeah.
And this is just part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly my story. It was a part of an entire journey.
Yeah.
And I think it's a wonderful combination of that self-searching and moving into a car, because it just strips away all the old. All the old is gone all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And so after 3 years, when you look back at the journey of the last 3 years, a big part of it was moving into the soul. Are you glad? Are you sad? Do you wish I could just be living a normal life again?
Not at all. Not at all. This is wonderful. This is like perfect for me. The more I do it, the more it just seems like that's how it's supposed to be.
So this has been, but there must have been some hard times. There must have been some, well, you've gone through a divorce, and there have been a lot of hard times.
Almost 3 years ago. Yeah.
So, and for me, that was a real push to look at life differently.
Yeah, it was life altering.
Yeah.
Everything changed. If you saw pictures of me, you wouldn't recognize me. I've lost 115 pounds.
Oh my.
Since then too. Yeah, I used to have really long hair, but I don't really kind of care about the external anymore, which is funny because I actually look the best that I've ever looked, but it no longer matters. Like, it just became so ironic.
If it's kind of all wrapped up in a new life chapter, new journey, it can be a remarkably powerful and wonderful thing. It was for me.
Yeah.
And it sounds like for you.
Yes.
Good. So there are a lot of people going through hard times now out there. I mean, with COVID, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but even before COVID, the economy, and it's a really traumatic time in our world history, human history.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your advice looking back over the last 3, 4, 5 years of your life?
Well, I discovered, the truth of what we are, so nothing actually that happens really matters to what you really are, to the truth. So you kind of don't have fear, so you don't really worry. It's like being in this world, but not of this world.
So just search until you find the truth that sets you free.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I think the path will always be different.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a truth that will set you free, and you found it.
Yep.
And I did too. And I think that's what I see in most people for whom this is a joyous time.
Yeah.
Is they search and they're open, and they find a truth that sets them free.
I agree.
And that's you. And part of it is living in a Kia Soul.
Part of it, yeah.
It doesn't have to be, of course.
No.
But if you look back at the men and the women of greatness that we've known throughout history, I think that a certain period of time in the wilderness is part of that journey for most of them. A time of simplicity, minimalism.
It is. That's actually where I've had any, like, if you want to call them awakening moments, has been out in nature.
Right.
One was at White Sands. One was walking by the river, by the Rio Grande in Albuquerque. It's always been outside, those moments.
Yeah. I think if you're out here and you're open, it's really easy to find the truth, your truth, that will set you free.
Yeah.
Good, good. So your future plans are maybe a different rig, but for right now, the soul is plenty?
Yeah, if anything, I might just do a build out, because I took your advice and didn't do anything to the interior. I just put the seats down and like just created a space that worked for me, because you said, don't buy anything until you need it. You know, don't see how you live, like how you live in your space before you do anything. And so I've just done that.
Well, I know several people who have taken out the seats,
Mm-hmm.
particularly the passenger seat, and that changed everything for
Yeah.
them. I mean, this tiny little space, which is so crowded, suddenly becomes almost spacious.
Yeah. So now I just wanted to make sure that I, liked it, that it was something I wanted to do, and it's been working for me. But yeah, I might turn around and do a build out, eventually sometime this year. My aunt and uncle converted a cargo trailer, and they offered to help me do a build out. So if anything, I'll go to Florida and do a build out there. I like those pull out kitchen, like bed platform, then you pull out and there's like a kitchen out the back.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
It is,
Yeah.
and maximizes your space.
Yeah.
Which is pretty tight.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have too much stuff in there, so there's going to be a purge. But first I wanted to see like what I was doing, if I get something to where I'm like work camping and being more like out like this, then there's things that I can get rid of and I won't need.
Right. And so you mentioned just running over to Florida to get a build done. And when you live in a car that gets fantastic gas mileage, you can think that way.
Yeah.
In a van, I don't think that way. Not at 15, 18 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
So what kind of gas mileage are you getting?
Oh, it's amazing. I spent, I think, $160 to go from Florida to LA.
Wow. Yeah, so it's really good.
Yeah.
Really good gas mileage.
Really good.
And
Not as good as it was before I loaded it down with stuff, but still incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Mindy, thank you so much for sharing your philosophy and your life experience the last few years. I know that it's kind of hard to share those deep things that you're experiencing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to find the words to properly, convey it. Sometimes there's just not words.
So folks, I know you got something out of this, that there's a truth for you, and I think this is part of the path to finding it. We don't know what it is. You'll have to find it for yourself. It won't be easy. It'll be work, but you can do it, and it'll be worth it.
It's definitely worth it.
Definitely worth it, and I can say the same. Okay, so we're going to end the interview now, and then coming right up will be a tour, so come back for that tour and see exactly how she's living inside. So if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later.